Stablecoins, primetime or failure.
Hello, everybody. Who wants some stable coins? If you take a seat, you may get some. If you stand, you're going to get none. Who wants to help populate this beautiful audience? These chairs were put here for you, not to stand, but to sit. Let's see if we could each grab a friend and join us. All right, I guess you don't want to learn about stable coins, so you'll just be at the end of the tail. I'd like to, first of all, say a few things on the macro level before I introduce my wonderful three panelists who flew here from Cyprus, from Dubai, and also from Cyprus, but originally from Israel, originally from Singapore, and originally from Cyprus, but studied in London. So we got a whole slew of people from all over the world. I was born in Romania, grew up in Israel, in America, and here we are all in Rome, attempting to find out why the Roman Empire collapsed. No, that's not why we're here. We're here to figure out why today, after 15 years since blockchain started being a two-word part of our vocabulary, why only 0.28% of the entire stablecoin slew is so small. Do you know what 0.28% means today? If you take the entire global M2 supply, if you remember from your economics classes what M2 supply is, that's the total amount of money, checking deposits, cash, and all the other securities. That's about 108 trillion worldwide. So if you take 307 billion, if you look at DeFiLlama.com, and there's 302 crypto stablecoins there, and divide 307 billion by 108 trillion, you get this little tiny number of 0.28%. If you take the 2.4 trillion, which is just the US dollar supply, and you divide 307 billion of all the cryptocurrencies that are called stablecoins, you get 12.8%. So why is that? Are we going to figure it out today? I don't know. I got these amazing guys here who may just answer some of these questions. So I will quickly introduce myself. My name is Mike Costache. I was very fortunate to enter the world of blockchain in February 2016 in Amsterdam, when the entire crypto market was just 8 billion. And I thought I missed the boat. I looked at coinmarketcap.com, and there were exactly 621 currencies. So Bitcoin, 86.4%, could never forget that number, and 620 other cryptocurrencies is all that there was in the world. 8 billion, and I thought I missed the boat. Today, some of you may be new to this world, and you're looking at 3.44 trillion, and you're thinking, I definitely missed the boat. But when you look at 108 trillion of the entire M2 supply, we're just scratching the surface. So for those of you who took a seat, you're smart. For those of you standing, I guess you just want to keep getting steps into your phone so you can look up and tell your wife and your husband and whoever else that you actually walked this conference and you made a lot of effort to be here. And with that, I will quickly introduce my wonderful panelists who flew here from all over the world. And I will say the following. Theodoros Christodoulou. Yes, is that correct? Correct. All right. So not only is he a former nuclear physics academic, studied at the University of Oxford with all the brilliant people, he eventually figured out he could use his own brain to enter the crypto market. And he built what's called the crypto market power law model, which allows a series of risk and valuation metrics that quantify growth, saturation, and long-term adoption in the crypto market. And of course, he has this platform allows for 1,000 or so dynamic on-chain and market indicators to be used by institutions and investors worldwide. So 1,000 metrics, that's a lot. That's a lot, yeah, I know. So thank you for joining us. I will also quickly introduce Jonathan Law, LOW, but you could call him Mr. Law. He created an omni-bank. He calls it the Airbnb of banking, which is really interesting. The company is called BitTap. And he will tell you more about why and how he connects traditional banks, neobanks, and crypto rails into a plug-and-play stack so high growth industries and countries can launch global payments fast and compliant, and making them compliant. Lior, my Israeli brother who defected to Cyprus some time ago, he's the co-founder and CEO of XBO.com, which is a licensed global crypto exchange with a European license. They focus on bridging everything between crypto and traditional finance, offering corporations and institutions secure trading, custody, and crypto payment processing solutions. And of course, I didn't mean to not properly introduce you. My Greek friend, you're Greek, right? You're not Turkish, yes? Just to make sure, right? So Lab for Crypto is the company that you're the CEO of, among the other ones I read on LinkedIn. All right, so with this introduction, everything you can see on LinkedIn about them, this is just a short introduction. So the first question, which is really, really smart, is that if we're living today with stablecoins, what we experienced in 2022 with ChatGPT's viral launch, what is the main trend behind this mass adoption? Why do we have 302 stablecoins worth 307 billion, where USDT just a few years ago was pretty much 90-some%, now it's only 58%?
So I think stablecoins will be the ChatGPT moment for the crypto industry, because they remove the intermediate from settlements, and that always, when you have faster and cheaper on something, always prevails. The good thing with that is that they're going to bring more people and increase the adoption in the crypto industry. Because unfortunately, we don't have a good name in the industry, because usually we have a lot of scams. But the technology behind blockchain is a really good thing. And you can see people like, for example, in JP Morgan, starting to say that blockchain is legit, that the technology is good, they're going to start more using stablecoins. And I think that it will start bringing more people to the industry, which is good, because do not forget, technologies growth depending on how many people are using it. So it's the network effect, let's say, the Metcalfe's law. So when you have more people using something, eventually you have liquidity spilled to the industry itself. So let's take an example. For example, someone is decided to get a payment in stable coins, and he has a wallet. He has the money sitting in a wallet. He decides, okay, that happened really fast. So that means crypto and the blockchain technology is good. So now maybe I'm start investing a bit in the industry, in DeFi, which DeFi is really good. You can do swaps, you can do stuff really fast. You also can start investing in Bitcoin or some other assets. And that will bring more people to the industry, because I am here for more than 6-7 years, and I never heard so many people talking about stablecoins. Before it was only Bitcoin, Ethereum, some meme coins. So now you heard more and more the word stablecoins, and I think that is good, especially now with Trump, which he wants to basically make the dollar the dominant currency using stablecoins, and with the Clarity Act as well. So I think stablecoins now, they're going to accelerate crypto adoption a lot. And that is good for us that we are, and people that are now in the industry, because they're going to get a lot of market share. Because if you are faster on something, that is good. And based on my projections, for example, the crypto industry is going to go to 10 trillion in the next 2 or 3 years. So as you said before, you started from a couple of billions. Now we are at 3.3 trillion. And imagine you be in this industry and goes to 10 trillion in the next couple of years. So that's a good position.
I would like to add that you can see the stablecoins, as my colleague says, stablecoins actually created in order to bridge the blockchain technology, which is one of the biggest evolutions that we have, combining with AI, into basically bridging blockchain and fiat. We can see we are in Sigma, and iGaming industry. Stablecoins has a dramatic increase in the payments within the gaming and the iGaming industry. We can see it everywhere. We can see it also in our platform with our merchants. And we see it's increasing. It has its, obviously, challenges with all the fiat and crypto rails. But they're increasing dramatically, and you can see also in the conference, every payments become crypto payments. So.
Let me ask a quick question of Jonathan, who spent quite a bit of his life in Asia. What can the world learn from what good folks in Asia are doing when it comes to stablecoins adoption?
Well, my opinion on this, very similar to what he said previously, is because stablecoins create a lot of certainty in the industry, right? For adoption to happen, I think the most important thing is not like gasless or instant payment, not just that anymore. It's more of like trust and certainty. And one thing I really like about, because I've been doing global banking and stablecoins and crypto payments for the last 5 years, and one thing I really see that APAC and Asia stands out is APAC operate a lot of solutions based on problem, and then they face on solution, and then they clear it based on solutions, okay, basically. But in Europe or in the West, a lot of them based on control and regulations, right? So that alone, for example, Tether, right? We all know, I don't know whether we all know, but Tether was banned from Europe because they don't understand or they cannot control, right? Unlike Asia, usually when they do a certain big policy change, there's always a plan B. For example, if they change something, you have to use this, right? So this creates a lot of trust and certainty when it comes to adoption. Because people who don't know anything, usually they just follow what the government says,
Yeah.
right? But in Europe, for example, if you say you ban Tether, people start speculating and start fearing, oh, why? Is it because it's scam or is it because of money laundering? And they create a lot of fear to make people think that having a lot of money movement across the country is illegal. So that's the funny thing in the West that I believe Asia protects, because I mean Hong Kong and Singapore has been the financial hub for the longest time, and the financial markets is mature.
Yeah.
So what we are trying to do, for example, is bring APAC banking rails globally. That's why I mean basically we are here to provide Asia banking rails to like gaming, to Forex, to crypto industry and stuff like that.
I personally believe Europe got really scared when they looked at the growth of Tether. Today, out of 183 billion with Tether, we all know that Tether has become the 5th largest buyer and holder of US treasuries. So why would you, if you're a European leader, want a lot of your money to go into US treasuries? It's fairly simple to me why they wanted to ban Tether in Europe, but time will tell what will happen. So talking about central banks and the digital currencies that they're trying, the CBDCs, which Trump, luckily, with the advice of my friend Ramaswamy, decided to just cut off all discussions, said this will not happen in the US. In Europe, as the CBDCs are getting ready for them to be fully available by 2027, how is that going to impact what's happening in the stablecoin market?
Well, that's related to the growth of stablecoins usage and how it's even created. So basically, we have the stablecoins. Stablecoins created in order to utilize blockchain into the day-to-day usage, right? No exposure to the crypto coins volatility, but using the crypto rails for fast, secure, and instant payments. Within this growth, and within the upcoming MiCA regulation in Europe, and now the Genius Act that is now in progress in the US, you can see basically the biggest crypto adoption of the stablecoins within not only the crypto industry, not only the different online merchants and industries like iGaming, Forex, entertainment, but you can see also the more traditional financial institutions stepping into the stablecoins. You can see also the retail users that utilize the USDT, much more than USDC, by the way, which is MiCA regulated, in order to hold it, to get yield on it in the earn programs, for example, or to trade with it. So looking into this boost, right, and watching all the liquidity floating away from the traditional banks, so we can see the traditional banks wants to join the party, and with the regulation, they are trying to invent something which is opposite from the crypto and the blockchain, which is actually making the stablecoins government issues.
Great. I'd like to mention two small things which are actually a big deal. One is we always try to have 50% of women on stage. It just, we failed at it today. My apologies for that. It was very quickly that we realized we needed more females to be represented on this panel. Our fourth panelist, unfortunately, couldn't make it. He's in the hospital. He's based here locally. His name is Giovanni Conti. He's the CEO of Gate for Europe. If any of you came here specifically to meet with him, please come talk to me and I'll introduce you to him if you want to talk to him directly, but unfortunately he's stuck in the hospital with a health issue. So having said that, we do have a question from a dear old friend who flew over from Canada here. Wayne Chain, are you here? He's the founder of a payment platform called UCAPay. And he wanted to make sure that everybody understands the difference between the Genius Act and the Clarity Act. Is everybody familiar with the difference between the two of these? Yes? No? Maybe? Well, maybe I'll have my panel talk a little bit about these two amazing acts that the Trump administration, one has passed and one is about to pass as soon as the government comes back to work.
So I think that was the two big events in the crypto industry, because the Genius Act was basically going to... Yeah, because, I mean, when it was developed, the purpose of it was to explain and give specific rules to stablecoin issuers about stablecoins, because Trump didn't want the launch of CBDCs, because he knew from political reasons if CBDCs thrived, they could damage and bank him when he ended his presidency. They did it before, so he wanted to bring the Stablecoin Act, basically, how I call it, which is the Genius Act, to say that if you want to issue a stablecoin, you need to 100% have it one-to-one backed with dollars or low-risk assets, which is like treasury bills. That's why USDT is the biggest one, as you said, because they issue stablecoins. And that removes the uncertainty, because there's always the fight between Democrats and Republicans about it, because last cycle we have the Luna stablecoin crash. It was an algorithmic stablecoin which lost respect and went to zero, and people lost their money. So to remove this, he introduced the Stablecoin Act, and it was passed into the law, and that gives boost to the industry. The next boost, I think, is going to be the Clarity Act. The Clarity Act is to distinguish between which assets are securities and which assets are commodities. Because for people that are in the industry, the last chairman of the SEC, Gary Gensler,
may he rest in peace.
Yes, he was basically saying that every crypto is a security. So that means a lot of developers, a lot of founders started to get outside of the US, stop the ICOs, the initial coin offerings, because they are afraid that they're going to get subpoenaed by US and have all these problems. So when he resigned after Trump came to the field, the new SEC chairman is more crypto-friendly, so that's helpful a lot.
Yeah.
And actually, on this October was going to be a vote for the Clarity Act, but for the last month, the USA government is closed because of the fighting between Republicans and Democrats again. So I think when it passes into the law, it will give the next boost to the new all-time highs for the crypto industry, which I project to be in the next 6 months at least. So we will see. So in short,
Towards
this is the
that
difference.
the 10 trillion you mentioned.
Sorry?
Towards the 10 trillion, so 3 times as big as it is today.
It depends what you mean. The stablecoins or the crypto industry
No, you
as a
said
whole.
the whole crypto industry is going to
Yeah,
go to 10
it will,
trillion
but it
from
will not go
3.4
in a straight
billion.
line,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually I think we're going to go to 150
So
for
in 6
Bitcoin.
months, you'll be triple.
I think until 2.
All right, quote him.
Two
Not
times at
financial
least.
advice.
So it's 3.4. I think we can easily reach 7 trillion.
Okay, now you're downscaling. You're being
No,
conservative.
in 6 months, you said.
Okay.
Yes, it's
right.
different. I mean, time frame.
We're not here to make
It's a
predictions.
lot.
I'm just joking.
Yeah,
Just trying
time
to wake you
frame.
all up.
Time frame is important.
All right.
Yeah.
I think in short, it's very bullish for the whole industry because basically US in the past seemed like going against everything. Everything that is beyond their control is illegal. SEC, it's securities, right? At least now with the Clarity Act, there's a separation of what is a security and what is not. And at least it just means that they finally agree that it's something that is not illegal, from gray to white zone, right? It's now allowed to have stable coins. As long as you can prove that you can peg it, you have proof that you can back it, they allow. And that gives a lot of confidence and certainty in the whole industry as a whole, because now finally people can innovate as long as they follow a certain set of rules. In the past, anything that does well, big volumes, like you said, they're suddenly afraid that, will the SEC subpoena me, So I believe as a whole, it is very bullish. For example, certain industries like what we are doing as well, like open banking, right? Connecting banks from different parts of the world. In the past, we were very afraid of this because we were using stablecoins as settlement currencies cross-border. We were quite afraid once we scale and do global business, SEC will come after us. But once they come up with this clarity thing, we are free. Because basically this open banking thing allows us to work with fully regulated banks globally using the stable coins that are approved for certain reasons. And then there's no problem. So I believe it's...
See, for the US, it was easy to do this. Because if 65 or so % of Tether's is 183 billion is already sitting with the US government, it's pretty easy to understand all this, right? That's all that any of you have to understand why Tether is going to survive and thrive. My friend Reeve Collins, who was the founding CEO of Tether, he couldn't be here today. He's stuck in Dubai working his butt off because exactly a year ago in Dubai at the Binance Blockchain Week, he was raising $5 million for this STBL. And I was like, what are you talking about? You missed the boat, you created Tether, you passed it on to the current management because you were scared of going to jail as an American back in 2014-15 with Brock Pierce and with the rest of the crew, okay? And when he started telling me a year ago in October in Dubai that he's raising $5 million for a stable coin, a yield-bearing stable coin that's going to pay 5 to 6%, I said, who gives a crap? But at that closing party, I met a fund manager from Singapore, said, I just allocated $250,000. I went to another bar, met somebody else, said, I just invested $500,000. And then all of a sudden I went back to him, I said, Reeve, give me that pitch deck, okay? And that's how you have 302 stable coins today, because a lot of smart people went out and raised money and created them. Now, if you look at DeFi Llama, I'll give you some
I will add something
statistics.
about the USDT and the USDC.
Sorry?
Which is we talked about the regulation, the framework that the Genius Act is bringing, but it's actually mimicking MiCA. You can see that USDC is regulated,
Europe,
and
yeah.
USDT is not regulated.
Yeah.
However, still 70% of the USDT, stablecoin payments are done still in USDT, and also most of the traffic. So trust is important, but you can see that as far as the crypto adoption is still low. So we are still talking about most of the volume right now is from the crypto holders, right? There's no much of newcomers. So still the majority of the crypto users are keeping USDT, although USDC is the MiCA regulated one. And we expect actually the regulation of MiCA and the Genius Act and the regulation of the stablecoins to increase the crypto adoption for the new users, for the retail
but
markets. But
today you have a long tail
still,
of 300
yeah.
crypto stable coins, right? And if you look at DeFi Llama, you see that only 11 stable coins are at $1 billion or more. 46 stablecoins are at 100 million or more, and 110 are at 10 million. So really, really pay attention to what's happening in that chart. That is the new coin market cap of stablecoins. If you're not familiar with DeFi Llama with 2Ls.com, please look at it, monitor it, and figure out. The smallest one is $50 in it. The biggest one, obviously, is Tether with 183 billion. Try to figure out which one makes sense for you, but there'll be probably 10,000, in my opinion, in the next few years. And then eventually there'll be 3 that will survive, or 5, or 10. Just like in anything else. Back in 2011, Groupon was a big deal. In 1 to 2 years, because it was such low barrier of entry, you had 30,000 Groupon copycats. Today, very few people even use Groupon. So everything in this world has a few winners, then you have a long tail, because it's too easy to create one. I mean, it took Reeve $5 million to create it a year ago. Now it's much, much less expensive to create your own cryptocurrency, your own stablecoin. But go ahead.
I mean, not just the number of stablecoins has increased. I think the volume of stablecoins has increased like 50 to 60% year by year for the last 3 years.
Of course. Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's not just crypto markets anymore.
Sure.
It's institutions, it's banks, it's huge. Like every high-risk industry is adopting stablecoins now.
It's the same thing with the evolution of real currencies in the 246, 248 countries of the world. Right? You have 200 major ones that have central banks, then you have other countries that are smaller. Today we're just shifting it into the digital realm, that's all.
I'm just curious, if there's 10,000 stablecoins in the future, isn't it going to be like crypto coin? Is it going to be stable?
I don't know. But listen, I want to thank you all. It's been great. Hopefully all of you that came here to listen to us learned something. And please stick around if you want to talk to us individually. Thank you.